Let's go, fam. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. The roast of Ben Simmons. Giddy up. Try it again.
That's my baby.
I'm dying.
That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
Left, feet left.
What the hell was that?
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Hey folks, Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
And here we go. Welcome in, everybody. This is Monday Morning Quarterback, only on A2D Radio. We are brought to you every Monday by the Counseling Center and Sunrise Detox. Many of us and our families deal with mental health and addiction issues. We are happy to support the Counseling Center and Sunrise Detox. If you need help, please call 856-651-8117. Tom Arnone, Ryan Brodo, the family out there, join us. What is happening? We'll give you a little Phillies-Mets pregame leading up to first pitch. Pick your pill. Philly edition. So we'll have a little game. You got to pick your pill. So we'll play that third segment. Ryan's going to have 3 news stories he wants me to react to. So we'll play a little game of react, get Tom fired up. So we'll do that game. Latest Eagles and Sixers news. Sixers play tomorrow night against the Celtics. I would assume Joel Embiid will be playing in that game. But what's up with Ben Simmons? That's the main topic at hand. Ties into our poll question, brought to you by bodycheckwellness.com. You can use promo code A2D. Get yourself 20% off at checkout. That's bodycheckwellness.com. Promo code A2D, 20% off at checkout. Our poll question, the recent performance of Ben Simmons should be a big concern for Sixers fans heading into the playoffs. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. That's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcast, we're there as well. Like, subscribe, follow, share, comment in, do it all. And people are going to be surprised by my answer right now. And usually me and Ryan will talk about it prior. There was no talk about it prior. I got a Nordic track. This got delivered. That's why we're late, because nobody's ever on time. Nobody's ever on time. I mean, I'm not saying I'm Mr. On Time for sure. So plenty of times we start late, and it's totally just me. We're just chilling. We're hanging. This, not on us. But I digress. And most people are going to assume that Tom's going to agree to this, right? Tom has been roasting Ben Simmons over the last 12 games, 14 games. I've been crushing him, all right? But I disagree. And you know why I disagree? Because I've been saying that he plays fine and well when Joel Embiid is here. He does. There's less pressure on him. And I truly believe that the mental side affects his game. I truly believe it. I'm done wondering what the reason is, because we've watched him at big games. We've watched him shoot the ball. We've watched him be aggressive offensively. We've watched all these things. So what's the reason for you averaging 12 points a game since the All-Star break? And people say, Tom, why are you getting all worked up in points? I'm not. I've been telling you that he should never not average 16 a night. Never. Should never happen. Never happen. And especially through a long period of time like this. It's 12 games. It's a big sample size. You're averaging 12 and a half. And we're just supposed to be like, oh, you can't worry all about Ben scoring. I'm not. But these 12 games have also been without who? Joel Embiid. For the most part. And that's acceptable? The guy dropped 40 against the Jazz. This is acceptable? 12 and people in groups are going to fight me, and Ben's Legals team's going to be all over the place? I'm sick of it. And I disagree to the poll. I think they're going to be fine in the playoffs. They're still going to the Eastern Conference Finals. That doesn't mean that you can't rip the guy. It doesn't mean you can't be critical of the guy. I'm so sick and tired of kid gloves. You got to be fucking Ben's the legal team the entire time. And if you're critical, you're a hater and you don't like the guy. What? Or you never play basketball, or you can't get up and down the court. That's what I heard today. You couldn't even get up and down the court. What? I'm not getting paid to get up and down the court. And I guarantee I'll whoop your ass, though. You won't go one-on-one. I'll whoop some asses. So let's go then. So let's go. So don't tell me what I can and can't do. Don't tell me that I can't be a fan of a guy and then be critical of him at the same damn time. And that's why you go listen to other shit. Go listen to agenda-based bullshit, or you want to listen to fucking me. I'm not even saying listen to all A2D. I'm saying listen to me, because I'm not gonna kid glove nothing. This has been unacceptable. You got to take your fanboy hat off for a minute and take a step back and say, are you okay with this? And people are like, well, he's not a star. Excuse me? He was the number one pick of the draft. He makes the All-Star team every goddamn year because he plays well 2 weeks leading up to it every time. And people are going to tell me, well, Tom, he's a great defender. No shit. But the same great defender, when I look at my stars to carry me, especially on back-to-backs, and I look right at him, and you got 45 put on your ass in the third quarter, and that's not all on him, but it starts with him. Mm-hmm. Listen, it starts with in the NBA, it starts with your stars, guys. It starts with your best players. That's who you point fingers to. We do it with Joel Embiid all the time when he's not playing well. It's okay to be critical of Joe, but you're critical of Ben, you're a freaking hater. Get a clue. Get a clue. If anybody out there is okay with this or makes excuses for it, stop it right now. Stop it. And Doc Rivers, too. Doc Rivers, knock it off, because it's the first time this year that you pissed me off. I don't want to hear about all that. Every team's going through a gauntlet. I don't want to hear about it. Are you kidding me? We're going to start making excuses? We're getting our doors blown off and poor play? No, you keep that inside. You keep that in-house. That you guys, you can tell your players that you're okay with that, but you start going to the media and we're making excuses? A great defensive team gives up 45 in the third? Ben Simmons, 2 for 6? We're going to blame it on pollen? Where are we going to blame it on? What are we going to blame it? Got a little warm in Philly? So the pollen level's high? What are you going to blame 12 points a game for? And I don't get caught up in points, but the fact of the fucking matter is he should never score under 16 a night. And that's being nice. That's being nice. Are you guys kidding me? And you guys all want to be like, well, we'll make this excuse for him. We'll make this excuse for him. We'll talk about playing in Denver. We'll talk about playing in the mountains. We'll talk about playing in the Sahara Desert, right? We're going to talk about playing all these freaking places that you want to tell me, well, it's hard to play there. It's hard to play there, Tom. And listen, they've had a gauntlet. Tired legs. Maybe he's got a lingering injury. I don't care. I don't care. Because generational lingering injuries, they're still putting their damn numbers up. So I'm sick of it. You want to talk about Michael Jordan about injuries. You want to talk about players. I'm not the guy to go backwards, but I will. You want to talk about players in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. You want to talk about injuries? Allen Iverson played with a lingering injury every goddamn night. Every goddamn night. So you're going to tell me about injuries? Anybody's going to tell me about anything else but the play on the court. And the play on the court is unacceptable for the first pick of the draft, a freaking crown generational star, and people want to tell me he's fucking LeBron. Whoa, knock it off. Knock it off. Look, just take a step back, people. Just take a step back. Take the jersey off for 5 seconds. Take that you're scared he's going to give you an interview away for 5 seconds. Take away that he might block you on Twitter for 5 seconds and call it how it is. Not good enough. And I love Ben, and I don't want to trade him, and I still don't want to trade him. You understand this? Dude, all this freaking yelling and screaming, I still don't want to trade him, but I'm going to put you to the coals. I'm going to tell people, and everybody out there that wants to listen, this is not okay. Not okay. Freaking great defender. No shit. What else do you do, honey? What else do you do besides block me early on Instagram because you couldn't take the heat 3 years ago? And I'm the same guy who rallied around you and has rallied around you because Ryan's with me all the time and hears me defend you. Mm-hmm. And now I'm a hater. I don't know basketball. I got cold radio takes. This is what I get told today for keeping it 100 about a guy who's underachieved the last 12 games. And everybody's like, well, Tom, everybody has an excuse for the guy. Everybody. And when you run out of excuses, you take personal shots at people. So you're the problem too. Oh, keep negativity out. This isn't negativity either. This is the realest talk you're going to freaking hear over a guy that has no agenda with the dude. I want him to be great. You're okay with you guys are gonna sit back and be okay with 2 for 6, and you want to talk about jet lag? You want to talk about all these freaking other things? Jesus, God, the guy's 24 years old. You're acting like he's 34. People are acting like, well, you want to make an excuse for Danny Green and Dwight Howard? Fine. That's it. That is it. This is a young basketball team. I don't want to hear none of this shit about a lot of basketball games. Tell all the kids in March Madness that have been playing a ton of freaking basketball games. Tell Stanford women's basketball, who's on the road 87 games this year. 87 games they were on the road. All right, and I'm going to compare it to women's basketball. So you don't like it, kiss my ass, okay? But the women were able to fight through adversity. Were they complaining? Were they whining that they lost a game? Oh, well, it's because we've been on the road so much, Tom. Get a freaking clue. Get a clue. You too, Doc. Nobody's gonna hold this guy accountable. It's disgusting. It all got blamed on Brett Brown. Oh, well, you got to get him away from Brett. Same freaking guy. Hasn't developed an offensive game since he's been here, okay? And the fact of the matter, he might be right-handed. I'm done. Go ahead, Ryan. Sorry. I'm done.
This is exactly what I wanted. This is exactly what I wanted. We just got to it 10 minutes before, I actually thought we were going to get to it, so that's perfect. I'll get to the poll in a second, because you hit on so many kind of bullet points that I was thinking about before we even came into the friggin' event, let alone started the friggin' show. I feel like this city, this fan base, but I'm just going to put the whole city, because it's not just Ben and Sixers, it's the entire city. We're in such a weird spot right now to where I feel like, and I'm not comparing, like somebody said, oh, this is Carson 2.0. I'm not comparing Carson Wentz to Ben Simmons or Ben Simmons to Carson Wentz. I'm not doing that. But I think ever since we saw what happened with said quarterback, this city and a big portion of this fan base, we're in a really weird spot to where we don't know how to criticize certain athletes because we don't want to be too critical, because then, we're running them out of town. But then, hey, if we give guys excuses, then we're enabling them. It's like, to your point, Tom, and I saw the comments on your post. I saw a lot of the comments on our post, because we were posting a meme after meme after meme after post last night, and we have been over the last handful of weeks since Ben Simmons has been on an awful stretch. People keep saying, oh, well, you're trying to run him out of town. What do you want from the guy? Oh, your expectations are unfair. People trying to literally, not just one person, 5 people on the same post last night in the first 10 minutes since it was actually posted, tried to compare Ben Simmons last night and say we should hold him on the same standard that we hold Danny Green and Seth Curry on. People saying, oh, well, A2D, Tom, Ryan, you guys are talking about Ben Simmons too much. You got to talk about Danny Green and Seth Curry. Let me ask you a question, fam. Was Seth Curry and or Danny Green, to Tom's point from earlier, number 1 overall pick in the draft? No, right?
Nope.
Are either of them getting paid max contracts or anything close to max contracts? No. Nope. Are any of them 6'10", 6'11"-ish, taller than most people in the NBA, faster than most people in the NBA, stronger than most people in the NBA? Ben Simmons, for whatever reason that you want to throw into it, number 1 pick, contract, physical specimen, greatness, whatever you want to throw into it, we hold him at a higher standard. Therefore, when we talk and Tom goes crazy, or I go crazy, or we post about it, or the fan base is upset with 6 shots and 2 made in a game when Joel Embiid is out, and you have no other player, especially Tobias Harris, because he was smothered, you have nobody else doing anything on offense, because we're critical of someone, that's not us also saying, hey, let's trade him for a bunch of scraps and a couple picks. All Tom is asking, and all I believe 99.9% of this fan base is asking, is for Ben Simmons to just be better. That's it. I'm going to just speak for me, and I think, Tom, you're in the same boat as this. I've stopped even talking about the three-point shot. I do, I care, but at some points I don't.
We haven't, Rye. We haven't sat here and talked about the 3. We've talked about a mid-range game. We talked about elbow jumpers. We talked about all them other things. And like something like Pat was just saying, like, I'm in the same boat as Pat most of the time. Like, I think Ben does enough for us to win. So, like, that's why I disagree to the poll. The recent performances of Ben Simmons should be a big concern for the Sixers fans heading into the playoffs. Agree or disagree? That's why I'm going to say disagree, because this team still is going to win because of Joel Embiid, and Ben does enough great things to help you win basketball games. Mm-hmm. But the fact of the matter is that you wanted to see a guy step up with Joel out, and you saw the opposite, and that is a problem to me, and I will not sugarcoat that.
It's a major issue, whether people want to talk about, and I understand you disagreeing to it, Tom. If we're talking about just strictly with the poll, if we're talking about this,
I figured you were going to agree, just like guessing.
It's so tough because, like, I don't want to hit panic mode. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just them losing last night and getting boat raced by Memphis and him playing bad. Like, I feel the same about this team overall. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ben Simmons is a huge part of it. But, like, these last 12 games doesn't make me think, oh, well, we're not getting to the Eastern.
I don't care about losing last night, right? Like, it doesn't, like
the way they lost. That's what pisses me off.
Yeah, it's 2 for 6. You know what I mean? That's the thing. People are like, well, you know what? Oh, you're all upset that they lost. No, dude, I'm the one who talks about the NBA back-to-backs, and not that it's an excuse. I don't use it as an excuse. I just say the NBA, you're going to lose games that you should win, right? So that's just the way it goes, and I'll never run from that. But that's not the problem last night. Last night, to your point, doesn't dictate this team in the postseason. Like, I still believe in this team. But go ahead to the poll side of it.
Well, and I would say this. I disagree to the poll because it doesn't change my outlook of this team going forward. But the concerning thing is twofold. It's a major concern going forward when you talk about kind of the projection of this team for the next couple of years. I'll get to that in a second. My biggest concern dictating around this season is going back, and I agree with you, Tom. We got to stop just talking about the Nets because we have to get to the Nets first.
Yeah.
But it goes back to the same conversation you and I kind of talk about all the time. It's that we haven't been able to get out of the second round, correct? So you see all of the moving pieces that need to be going right for us just to get out of the second round. We're trying to get out of the third round against the Nets team that, whether people are, overrating them, whether people were sleeping on, whatever.
Hold on. Is the poll concerning to get to the NBA Finals or get to the Eastern Conference Finals? Because, I mean, that's a different conversation.
It's a good, I mean,
because I'll never run from my expectations or just getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. Like anything else, I'll continue to say is house money, and I'm not going to be mad.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
So I disagree that we can get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, you want to talk to me about cutting nets down? About cutting that? Ryan, he's got to average 20 a night. Like, if you want to cut nets
down there, I just want to get to the finals. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll worry about winning the damn thing if we get there. I'm just worried about getting there.
I think we can beat the Nets, but it's tough.
Him shooting 6 times.
No. But I think we can beat him because of Joe being there. But that's the thing. It's concerning to cut nets down. It's concerning to think that I'm going to get past my expectations if he's not aggressive enough.
And honestly, Tom and the fam, tell me if I'm overrating this, because I know this is what we do. It's a game-by-game league, and we look at it. But we know what we have now, right? We know we love the format of this team. We really like, Doc and the coaching staff, even though he really pissed us off last night, which I'll get to in a second, because that's one of the news stories I was going to have you to react to. And we know we have a bona fide MVP talent and a transcendent talent in Embiid. So it's like, okay, while our window isn't 1 year, it's like, well, damn, if everyone does their jobs, we can do it this year. We can get there, or at least have a chance to get there. You know what I'm saying? And my fear is that when it's all said and done, and we're looking back in the summer at this season, we're going to look at 25 and say, this is the man that kept us from doing what we needed to do. Because Joel's going to do his job. He was doing his job when no one else was around him when they got swept by the Celtics last year. So I'm not concerned about him. I'm not going to look at Danny Green and say, oh, Danny Green cost us a series, because Danny Green's a role player. And I know what I'm getting from Danny Green. I know what I'm getting from Tobias. And I'm not going to look at Seth Curry, even though I'm concerned about him raising his level, because I think I just consider him a role player, and that's fine. I'm concerned that when it's all said and done, you're looking at Ben Simmons and his face is going to be the reason. And you're looking at his stat line, 2 for 5, 4 for 7, 11 points, 5 rebounds, and saying, well, damn, because we're not asking a lot, Tom. We're asking 16 to 20 points a night.
Listen,
aggressiveness, getting to the line, not disappear. That's all. We're not asking for 30.
Sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes it's just like, let us know you played. Let me know you played. Let me know you played. Let me know you played. That can be dropping 18 dimes. Let me know you played. And I'm gonna debate. Pat's my boy. Pat Capone is my brother. I love you, Pat. And I love you. And I know Kyle's saying the same thing, right? But I disagree. I disagree with both of you guys because every year you come in with expectations, right? And if your expectations were thinking that this team was just going to jump and all of a sudden win at finals, I think that's unfair. Now, that's your expectations. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to be all smiles if they lose in the Eastern Conference Finals, but this is a young basketball team. And to win in the NBA, you almost got to go through your steps to get there, okay? And until you go through your steps to get there, like it becomes house money. It doesn't become loser's mentality. It becomes house money. That's the difference. That's the difference. And I don't think it's unfair or a loser's mentality for me to say, hey, get to where I want you to get to, and then we'll go from there. We'll go from there. And if you do lose in the Eastern Conference Finals, then we can say, well, why did we?
Yes.
Why did we? Was it on Ben? Was it on Joe? Who was it on?
Well, and when you talk about blame, right, Tom? It was always, and justifiably so, it was always, go ahead.
My expectations last year, we can't even have that conversation. I mean, it went through a bubble. Ben was out for the year. Joe was gone. You know what I mean? Like
Horford was a major disappointment. So everything was flipped upside down.
Everything blew up. Like everything was blown up by the time they went to the bubble. We thought it was going to be okay, but it wasn't. Like guys still got hurt, right? Yeah. So nobody was there. Like nobody played. So you know what I mean?
It was a wash. It was really just a wash.
How's it not house the money, guys? I don't understand. Like your expectation where you thought this was a team that could win the finals this year? That's what you came in thinking? I mean, I thought they were getting closer. I thought they were right there, but it wasn't like the end-all be-all to me.
It was all projection before the year. We were talking about, okay, we believe in Simmons and obviously Embiid and Tobias, and we believe in Doc Rivers way more than Brett Brown, even if people aren't completely sold on Doc Rivers, when he was hired. And we believe in Daryl Morey over Elton Brand. And so it was all based off of projection. But I understand when people say, oh, listen, it's twofold. I do understand when people say, oh, well, we're limiting ourselves.
Yeah.
But I also say, okay, well, you don't have to win anything this year, at least finals-wise, because nobody's coming off the end of a contract. Next year, you're guaranteed to still have Joe, Ben, and Tobias.
It's always steps, Pat. It's always steps. So what's the next step after not getting through the second round? Well, it's getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. Mm-hmm. That's just steps. You know what I mean, Pat? That's how I look at it, steps. Okay? And to the poll, I disagree that Ben, I'm worried that Ben's going to dictate me getting there. No, I'm not. I'm not, because he does other things extremely well. And Joel will be here. But, I don't know. I mean, can they win the finals? Sure. Can they win the whole thing? Sure. I mean, I'm not saying they can't, but for me, I think you got to go through steps in the NBA to learn how to get to the next step. Everybody does it. Everybody goes through their bounces and their hardships before they get to the promised land. I'm not saying, again, I'm not running around if they lose the Eastern Conference Finals either. But, I still think they can beat the Nets. So for me telling you what my expectations are to start the year doesn't necessarily mean that I don't think they can get to a finals.
I think people confuse, I'm not speaking for everybody. I think people can confuse expectations for ceiling. So I think when people say, oh, your expectations are Eastern Conference Finals, I think a couple people, people think, oh, well, Tom doesn't believe they can get to the finals. No, it's just, you're talking about a floor. People confuse ceiling for floor. You know what I'm saying? Your floor is that, hey, if they get to the Eastern Conference Finals and they compete and they don't get freaking boat raced and they lose in 4 games, you're not going to go and you're not going to be doing a million crumb of the dates.
I can't, right? I can't. I mean, I can't. That is house money, Chrome. If you're a young basketball team and you get to your first Eastern Conference Finals, right, and you lose, It's not the end of the world. Then you say, okay, next year we're gonna go win the whole damn thing, right? Okay, right? And this is how it goes. If you're an old team and you get there and get bounced, it's a different conversation. Come on, guys. It's
Joseph, don't try comparing 2 years. I mean, that was a completely different team.
So now we're comparing the win right now, win it all with Jimmy Butler, and we're comparing 24-second shot clock violations with Uncle Jimmy, right? Come on, guys. Like, I'm not telling you it's okay not to go to the NBA Finals. I'm just telling you, if anybody sat here, and because we did these shows, okay, and said, oh, well, this team's going to the NBA Finals and they'll win the whole thing. I didn't see much of that early on in the year. I probably had the highest hopes for them. People were calling me crazy, saying
they were calling you Homer because you had them as a 1 seed.
I had them at 1 or 2. I said they're going to be the 1 or 2 seed. You can book it, and they're going to the Eastern Conference Finals. That's where I had them. I mean, so I don't understand where like, I understand the game of basketball and the progression of it more than anybody else because I talk about it more than anybody else. All the greats had to go through their goddamn steps. I don't know how many times I got to say it to you guys. Everyone had to. Everyone. Even the Warriors were getting bounced before they won it.
If they would, again, and I'm not trying to go back to, conversations from a couple weeks ago, but this is one of the big reasons, one of the many reasons why I didn't want them getting Lowry, because if you were to make a deal like that, right, where you're giving away 3 picks, 4 players for a guy who's a rental, who's 35 years old, then I believe that changes our urgency and expectation because it's like, okay, well, damn, that's something where we traded for a bona fide rental and we gave up 7 assets for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we didn't. So that's where I think Tom goes into the house money because you didn't give anything up to get here.
If you trade for Harden, then guys, then you better win it. You better win it.
You didn't sacrifice anything this year. Nothing's coming off the books unless you're looking at Danny Green, and I think Curry's still under contract. So if you're looking at like, oh, well, role players are going to be different, okay. But you're not losing any of your big 3. Doc Rivers is still under contract. Daryl Morey's still going to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like I talked about.
You don't buy into that, Crum? Because I'm gonna keep telling you guys you're all wrong. First of all, Pat says, okay, so what's your expectations any different next year? Well, yeah, because if they get there, then the next expectation is to win it. Okay, the Lakers will have the same team, but then obviously, Pat, they get older. So, right, then they get older. So Crum says, by the definition, everyone but the Nets and Lakers are playing with house money. Nah, I don't buy into that. I do. Teams that have young guys that are there for a minute, they're playing with house money. The pressure is on the Nets and the Lakers to win. It is. Come on, Chrome.
Just those 2? Are you saying just those 2, Tom? I mean, I know this is. I mean, I'm just going to throw. I would argue Clippers in there also.
Okay, well, I'm not even thinking about them because they don't matter.
But you're fine. That's not your point. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I just said that pretty much. If you're a younger team and you have all your people there for a minute, then you are playing with house money. If you're an older veteran team, right, then it's a different conversation. Then you're playing to win it all. Come on, guys. That's how it goes in the NBA. I can't, Chrome. You watch too much NBA in your life that tell me that's not how this works. Come on, guys.
That's why expectations are such a deep conversation because it can change day by day. It can change day by day.
Right. They get swept by the Nets. I'm freaking flipping out. You understand?
That's what I'm saying. And I think people are losing that. I think people were saying, oh, well, Tom, the second they clinch the Eastern Conference Finals, Tom's going to go and he's going to sit, out on the deck and be like, oh, I'm just going to sit back. We're great. It's like, no, just because you get there doesn't mean the job isn't finished.
Yeah, Pete gets it. The pressure is on the Nets. I mean, that's why I think we beat them because everything's on them. I think you guys are missing the point. I think house money is a good thing. Like essentially, Baylor tonight is playing with house money. They got nothing to lose tonight. Yeah. Nothing. Gonzaga, all the pressure's on them. Can you win one more to stay undefeated? Can you do what nobody's done? Right? Can you do it? So with the Nets, the pressure's on them to win right now. Not next year, not the year after. The Sixers have a 4-year window to win shit. Maybe a 5. So am I giving them, oh, it's okay, you lost? No. We're always trying to win an NBA Finals. I get that. All right? But I'm not going to go overboard on what my expectations are because I've been consistent about it all year, and I don't understand how that's not house money. That is who's supposed to win, Chrome? The Nets are. So that equals the young team is playing more with what? House money.
There's only one mainstream person in the country, at least unless I've missed it, that has the Sixers going to the finals over the Nets. Every other big mainstream person has the Nets, and they're saying it's done.
Yep, Jacob's right too. And the other thing is, like, it's unfair too. First off, everybody listening on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're joining us at, we can't thank you enough for tuning in. It looks like we have 77 people right now over on YouTube. We got Facebook. We got in like the 15. So listen, pound that share button, pound that like button. Come on, get us up over 100. And if you missed it, maybe I was thinking probably top 5 best rant I feel like I've gone on. Go back to the first 11 minutes of the show and enjoy the Ben Simmons roast. All right, I don't have it in me to do it again because I'll probably be doing it again on Flight Zone at 9:30 with Jimmy, Evan, and our boy DJ Eastwood. So run it back Philly. He'll be joining us. Finally got DJ to come on A2D. So let's go. And we'll have plenty to say then too. But I mean, I don't know what you guys want from me. I really don't. I really don't. What young teams win finals? What guys under the age of 27 win finals? How many? Guys start usually win finals when they're 27, right around there. All right. Joe 26, and he just turned 27?
I believe so.
So yep. Joe's right in that mode, and he's ready to win. Now, is 24 ready to win? Who's 24? Or sorry, is 25 ready to win? Who's really 24 years old? Is he ready to win yet? I still think they can, though, guys. That's the thing. I still think they can win the NBA Finals.
If he wakes the hell up.
I don't even know if it's all on him, though. Like, if he does the other things he does great, Ryan, and Joel is Joel, they can win the finals. They can. They absolutely can, because the bias is the second scorer, right? It all magnifies when this is why I'll be critical of him, but it doesn't dictate what I think about this basketball team, right? Because I know when Joel's there, the bias becomes a second scorer, right? And he's going to give me 20-something a night. So now it puts Ben in more of a third, fourth, fifth option, which is better suitable for him, and he usually has better games, right? So that's why I'm not concerned by it, and that's why I still think this team can go to the finals. I still believe that they beat the Nets, all right? But that's not what my expectations are. That's just me believing. That's me wanting it, all right? That's me talking into existence. Now, if I get to the NBA Finals, I ain't trying to give it away. I ain't trying to say, well, are you kidding me? I'm going to be devastated if we lose. I'm going to be devastated.
Even if we take the Lakers or Clippers or Jazz or Nuggets, whoever's in the West, even if we take them to 7 games and we lose, we're still going to be crushed. We're still going to be pissed off in the moment. We're probably going to be blaming somebody. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't change expectations.
No. And you get it. I mean, we've done so many shows together. You understand, like, how I'm trying to word it and say it. And guess what? People understand it, and this is agree to disagree radio. So please disagree. You know, I just want people to understand, like Pete's saying, hardest sport to win young in is basketball. And there's no truer words. There just isn't, guys. I don't know why. There's no rhyme or reason. I just think it's a long, grueling season, and you need to learn how to take care of your body as a pro, and you need to almost get beat up a little bit, right? You almost need to take your hits before you can win. Jordan, I didn't compare it all to Jordan because, like, you look at it, he had it every year was like it was baby steps, and then once he broke through and figured out how to do it, it was game over. And similar to LeBron too. I mean, LeBron was going there early, right? But he didn't win anything. He didn't win.
He had to leave. He had to leave to win.
So it's just the way the league worked for some reason. You know, that's why when you look at the Celtics right now, it's almost okay if you're a Celtics fan. Like Bill, like, you're okay, Bill. Like, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are puppies. Like, now, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable, but, like, it's not like they're down and out and they'll never come back, right? You know what I mean? Like, they're young. So it's like, maybe they needed this. They needed a little wake-up call if you're a Celtics fan to say, okay, you know what I mean? Like, we're not as good as we maybe thought we were. Maybe got to put a little bit more work in, right? Like, you need that. Joel Embiid needed the 47 bouncer, right? He needed the bubble. You need these things because guess what? You can't say that he didn't come into camp and this season in great shape and ready to go because he did. You can never question him being in shape. The injury is just a freak thing, but he's in shape, right? So he worked at it. And Ben, for the majority of this year, outside of probably like 15 games, right, had been big time impactful.
Well, it's you want me to give you the breakdown because I have the breakdown.
Yeah, give me everything you got.
So Ben Simmons, because everyone, and it's funny, Ben's very lucky that like we got like off course a little bit with the expectations talk because like we're not done with Ben, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're in here, obviously go back to Tom's rant, when we're done the show. But I got told either in our comment sections or the A2D's comment sections, oh, well, you guys got to look at the numbers, A2D, the numbers. Okay, well, I found some numbers.
Before you read them off, can I do one thing real quick? Master Life by Design is definitely my boy Joe Moffitt. And if you're over on YouTube, guys, right now after the show, make sure you come back. But go give him a follow. Master Life by Design. That's a great friend of mine, a great man. Go check out what he's doing over there. I love my boy Joey Moffitt, and he's 100% spot on. If JoJo wasn't in shape, he would have been out for the year. After Rye gives us these numbers. Yes, we're going to play the rapid fire news, the storylines. And I'm sure we're going to get people fired up and myself. So Colin, that will be part of that. So don't worry. And we will get to everybody's comments, everything you got out there. So just stay locked in. Stay right here.
We got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of moving parts over the next hour. So everyone was saying, hey, you got to look at the numbers. Okay. Found some numbers. So I broke it down in a first 13 game split, then the next 18, then the last 11. Okay.
Oh, like a little quarterly. Yeah.
Oh, I broke it down.
NFL. The NFL used to be broken in quarters. Now you can't do it anymore.
So I want to see, Tom, and obviously you don't know these numbers. I want to see how close you are on this. I'm going to have you guess his numbers. Okay.
I love a little guessing game. All right.
So his first 13 games, how many points do you believe he was averaging? Remember, he got off to a slow start.
Yeah. I would say like 15 and a half, somewhere around there.
12.2.
Jesus Christ.
9 rebounds per game.
Okay.
8 assists per game. 4 turnovers a game.
Yeah, not good enough.
Not good.
No, not good.
He was about 4 points down on as far as his career average on points. Down on rebounds, down on assists, and way up on turnovers.
Yep. Now, one thing of that is good enough.
Yep.
Not one thing. Okay.
Then, his next 18 games. Guess how much he was averaging? This is the best.
The jump. That's the jump. He has to be around. He's got to almost be around 18, 19 a night.
18.9 points per game.
Okay. So wow. Oh, my God. Jeez. Ding, 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 ding. What do I win?
A jump shot.
Right.
Ben Simmons jump shot.
Right, he won.
He was averaging 7 rebounds per game and 7 assists per game, but then he went down a full 2 turnovers per game.
That's the difference maker, right? It's a 4 turnovers to 2, right? And it's people telling me, well, look, Tom, he had 9 rebounds and 8 assists a game, right? Okay. And I'm going to tell you to back up, punch yourself square in the face, and realize that he can go 18 points a night, 19, and go 8 and 7 or 7 and 7. And that's way more impactful for you freaking jabronis out there.
Then you go to his last 11 games. So what do you believe he's been averaging now?
Yeah, that's about 11 and a half, 12 or 12 and a half. It's right around there.
12.9. He's averaging just under 8 rebounds per game and 6 assists per game, but he's back up to 4 turnovers a game.
Uh-huh.
So he's going 4 turnovers, 2 turnovers, 4 turnovers. That's the biggest thing. So everyone talks about, defense, assist. We don't change our minds on that. But as you can see, in those stretches of first 13 and the last 11 games, the points went way down and the turnovers went way up.
Right. I want you to tell the people the middle spurt. I wanted you to read off the middle spurt again.
Next to the 18 gamer?
Yeah, and then people can tell me why, like, you make excuses for the guy, you know what I mean, or whatever they want to do. But tell me that, and then I want to tell people that. How can you sit back and watch what's transpired in then 2 other groups?
In an 18 game sample size, 19 points per game, 7 rebounds per game, 7.3 assists per game, 2 turnovers per game.
And both other times he averaged in his other 2 groupings, okay, he's averaged 12 and a half a game.
And 4 turnovers a game.
And through the whole time, his assists and rebounds have pretty much been the exact same.
Mm-hmm.
So he can average 18 a night and still give you the 8 assists, 7 boards, or vice versa, right? Like, that's what I don't understand. This is why I get mad.
Well, and Tom, you talked about it earlier, right? As far as the blame. Well, it would always be Brett Brown, and again, justifiably so. You look at this season compared to last season. You look at our 3 big stars. Joel Embiid, obviously way better without Brett Brown. Tobias Harris, astronomically better than Brett Brown. What about Ben Simmons?
No.
I see 2 guys who made the jump, right?
Maybe worse, right?
Maybe worse. And that's an issue. That's a huge issue. And that's what gets to, and Tom, you and I have talked about this on how many shows? And we talked about how this is what Doc was talking about before the season, the word facilitator. And I was saying, well, listen, fam, it's not an excuse, but this is what Doc's going to go back into. And what do you know? And this is the first news story I'll have you, Tom, react to. I know you already knew this.
Yeah, give the news story 1 second.
Yeah. Okay.
What I don't understand is that I don't know how, like, you listen, if you want to average 12 a night, that's great, okay? But you better be dishing out 12 assists then every night, okay? Double-digit assists, and you better be getting double-digit rebounds, and you better be the greatest defender on the planet, okay? And that's how you can get away with that. If you're not, you can't get away with it. Simple as that.
You know how you get away with it? Honestly, I don't care if Doc Rivers or Ben Simmons, or they want to call him a facilitator or a role player or, you know, a playmaker, whatever. At the end of the day, and I'm not even saying the star elite, you know, elite of the elite players have this. When your team is struggling and everything around you is breaking down offensively, and you're getting boat raced, out hustled, out defended by the Memphis freaking Grizzlies, and your star MVP player Joel Embiid is out, don't you think just being a person, let alone a competitor, you would have something inside of yourself that would think, my teammates need me, I'm going to do something about this. Especially when you look all around the league and you have other players laughing at you. You have fan bases laughing at you, talking about this guy has so much talent and does nothing about it. So I completely understand. Listen, he clearly has said before, he reads all the stuff on Twitter. He doesn't care. And that's fine. I don't want anybody to be consumed by Twitter. I don't want you to be Jalen Reagor. But at the end of the day, there's got to be something in you as a competitor that thinks, well, screw this. I'm going to step the hell up. And this guy, more often than not, doesn't possess it. That's what drives me crazy. I'm not going into...
Ryan, there's times where he like disappears from the court and he's on the court. That's the problem. Like, yes. Completely you're like, oh shit, I forgot he was even playing.
Yes. And that is so ridiculous. And again, I don't go into a game at 7 p.m. every night saying, oh my God, I got to get a Ben Simmons 3-pointer. I'm not saying, hey, I need an elbow jumper. I'm saying the same 2 things. Be aggressive and convert at the line. That's it. For a max player who was number 1 overall pick in the draft, supposed to be this transcendent talent, who's also 6'10" and faster than I would say about 95% of the league. So I don't think we're asking anything ridiculous. We're asking one thing. And this is something we talk about all the time, Tom, and that's control what you can control.
Well, I would add the elbow jumper in there because you know why, Rye? You know why I add it in right now? I'll tell you why. It's because when you're not going to do the other things and I see you're having trouble doing the other things, then hit an elbow goddamn jumper. Attempt it. Extend your game a little bit. All right? Show growth in your game. Show the 1-2. Right? The 1-2 is what I talk to my players about. How bad do you want to be great? How bad do you want to be good? How great of a teammate do you want to be? Right? All them things. I think he's a great teammate. Okay, I think he's a good dude. All right, I just think he doesn't have something's missing where you can't just pull up and look at the rim. He won't look at the rim from the elbow, and that's what concerns me, and that will always concern me. All right, because I'm telling you, around the rim will be easier for him if he does that. The reason he can't finish around the rim is because it gets clogged up on him. He doesn't have a million post moves. Okay, he gets by pure athleticism, right? So you need to help your athleticism out by attempting the elbow jumper. Just attempt it. Like, it doesn't have to be 10 times a night, Ryan, but when you come up and you don't look at the rim, that's a fucking problem.
And that's why people don't understand.
There's unselfish and there's idiotic. There's unselfish and then there's idiotic.
His indecisiveness on offense is what causes the turnovers. It's not a coincidence that when he is going to the line more and he's scoring more, his turnovers are down. Like that stat that I brought up saying, oh, well, his points in that 18-game stretch, his points went up 7 points, but his turnovers went down by 2. That's not a coincidence.
No, and this is probably not a coincidence, too. I don't know this. Bankroll buddy says, what's his free throw percentage during that spike, Rye?
Oh, I got to look. I got to check that.
And Casey's right. I mean, turn the ball over hurts his confidence. And when he doesn't finish at the bucket early on, you'll see him disappear. And in the last 8 minutes of games, when you turn on a basketball game, now we all watch the whole game, but for majority of people, you can turn on the last 8 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
When's the last time he stood out in the last 8 minutes to you? Am I being fair right now? Because at times I feel like maybe I'm overly critical because I get mad.
No.
Like, when?
No, Tom, you're absolutely being fair because I do not have that answer for you. And that's freaking alarming when the last 12 games, except for the one on Saturday, we were without our closer. Like, it'd be one thing like, oh, well, Joel's on the team. We don't need Ben. Okay, fine. Joel's been gone for 3 weeks.
And we're not talking about dropping 30 in the fourth. When's the last time in the final 5 minutes of a game that we say, ooh, there's that man? When? And now I know what Ben's legal team's going to tell me. Well, he shut down guys offensively. We know this.
You got to score points to win basketball games, though.
Yeah, I'm asking you, and we won basketball games, so don't get me wrong, right? But I'm asking people, when's the last time that has happened? When is the last time that this got the Chicago game? When the fuck was that, Bank?
I don't even
remember. And it was like to that level. Ugh.
I mean, I watched that game close because Zach Levine was there, and I don't remember that. Like, that was Zach Levine night, and I don't remember that.
Mark,
I'm not saying you guys are wrong, Bankroll, but
you're right, Marky. He's just not a star. I mean, it's simple as that right now.
He doesn't have it.
And there's games, guys. I mean, I know Donovan's saying the Celtics game. I'm sure there's games. I'm really saying, though, like, at least there's Joel stretch. My goodness gracious. I mean, there should be at least a handful where we're like, yeah, he had a really great fourth quarter. And he might have had really good fourth quarters, but the fact of the matter is, I don't remember any of them.
I'll tell you what, I'm looking at his stats the last 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 games because I was trying to find the Chicago game. This is freaking putrid. Just the splits. Just looking at it. It's putrid.
Not good.
And I'll give you this little nugget too for everyone saying, "Oh, we should be fine. We shouldn't even be worried about Ben Simmons right now." Give you a little thing, and it involves a former fan favorite of the Sixers. So the last 5 games, Ben Simmons has been averaging less points per game and less assists per game on a far worse field goal percentage than TJ McConnell. That's real.
I'm typing this in the chat right now, but the roast of Ben Simmons hurts me. And I mean it.
He's one of my favorite players to watch. I look forward to watching Ben Simmons.
I mean, Joel's my favorite, but it's just the way he's always been for me. But that's fine. Like, Ben's right there, right underneath of him, right? Like I agree. I don't ever want to like shit on him. I've defended. I've done other things with him, but the fork hits the road in life, guys. The fork hits the road, and when that fork hits the road, you got to make a decision. And your decision's got to be, who do I want to be? How great do I want to be? And he said a lot of great things early on in this year about needing Joel and them needing each other. And I couldn't agree more. And I still have this huge upside for them too. But the other guy's gotten better. The other guy has gotten better every single year. You know why? Because he's the generational guy. He's the guy who's going to put us on Broad Street. Okay? So what you got to do, Robin, all right, is just go be Robin. And you know what? You don't even got to be Robin. But you and Tobias combined have to be Robins. A combined Robin. Okay? So whatever that is, I need it. Because I know right now Joel Embiid is ready to win an NBA Finals. Right this minute, he's ready to win an NBA Finals. Is anybody else outside of Danny Green and Dwight, who's won one, ready to go?
Tobias.
He's close. Yeah. He's right there. He's consistent enough. So it's going to fall on 25. It's going to fall on Ben Simmons. And how great can he be? How great can he be? On both ends. Thank you, David.
Thank you, David. You know what's sad too, Tom? And listen, I don't worry about this too much because I worry about the players here, right? I don't worry about players on, other teams and in other cities. I was just going to say that, Batgirl. I was going to say Batgirl. Or Alfred. He's freaking Alfred.
The Wonder Woman. We'll just bring a different one in. Like,
there you go. Yeah. When you talk about guys getting better, people around Ben Simmons that he came out with in the draft, that people we would say, someone would say, X name player is better than Ben Simmons. A couple years ago, we wouldn't even have a conversation about it. People were passing him, Tom. People that should never, ever, ever be passing him as far as, damn, you swap these two out. And again, we're not looking to trade them. But it's like this guy was on such a high pedestal, justified or not. But he was there. And you see everyone start moving up. Because you know what they have? You know what the Tatums and Jaylen Browns and Donovan Mitchells, even though I think he's overrated, you know what those players have?
Killer.
The want to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, again, they're all good, really good, extremely good players, and he's right there with them because he'll do things that them three don't do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and I'm never going to take away his vision. I'm never going to take away him on the defensive side of basketball. But on the offensive side, I mean, he has not gotten better. And David's right. If he can play like he did his rookie year, we win a chip. And I believe the same thing. I agree with Chrome. I mean, George Hill is a big reason why we picked up George Hill is because they might not believe Ben's ready.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not saying George Hill is this great player, but I'm saying to run Ben off ball and put him in the 4 like we talked about. Because we talked about who's going to be your 4. Well, it's probably going to be Ben at a lot of times because George Hill is going to get crunch time minutes. He just is. I need George Hill. I need George Hill, Danny Green, Seth Curry, Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, and Ben Simmons in crunch time in some form or fashion. Obviously, there'll be a guy down, but you know what I'm saying? In some form or fashion, they're your crunch minute guys. They're your okay, game's on the line. What's 6 guys? Am I counting on? It's them. It's them. Because the other guys are young. The other guys are too young.
Mm-hmm.
Jake's a baby. Matisse is a baby. I can't rely on them too. More they're gonna play major minutes. Don't get me wrong. But game 7, hypotheticals, 5 minutes to go, 6 minutes to go, or 8. Right, they're your 6 guys that are getting minutes.
Oh yeah, if we're going into a game 7 against any team, and we're heading into saying, we need a big game out of, we need Shake Milton and Matisse Thybulle to really, elevate their games. I'm not feeling good about ourselves. No. You know what I'm saying? Just because they haven't been there. And that's no disrespect to either of them. But to your point, Tom, they're kids.
And
they don't know what that's like.
No. And bankroll, listen, aggression, and this is where me and Ryan are going to disagree to a point because I was on that side of I just need aggression, right? I just need to go to the rim, right? Well, he hasn't done that good.
No, he can't make a layup anymore. Can't even make a layup.
Yeah, you can't. You got it now. Now I know you need to extend your game because now I know people are caving in on you and making it way too hard for you to finish at the rim. So, being I know that now I need a 12-foot jumper, or I'm not going to shut the fuck up. I'm not gonna shut up. I'm just not. I'm not. I could go out there right now and look at the rim. Just look at the rim. He won't even look at the rim. Is this real life? Is this real life? Like the jab step, and pump fake are 101 basketball staples since the game was invented, and this dude doesn't even have one. Either one. Why? Because nobody's coming out to him. Nobody even cares enough to come out to you. You won't even look at the rim. I don't even care about the three. But there's times that nobody's around you. Just look. Just say, you know what? Why not?
How can a guy, and this is one instance, against the Nuggets, when he got trucked by Rafael Campazzo, or whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah.
The little guy. He gets trucked, and everyone's going crazy on him. How can this guy look at that and feel nothing? Tom, if that was me or you, we'd be going crazy in the next handful of games. We'd be bodying everybody that's smaller. Everybody.
There was never a mouse in the house with him. Like I always yell, mouse in the house. There isn't. YouTube family, hit that like button over there. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. Come on, the road to 10K. Giddy up. Help us get there. All right, give me your news. Your three news thing.
Yeah, I've got 1 Sixers and 2 Eagles here for you.
Okay, nice.
I'll start with the Sixers. So Doc Rivers last night, this is the first time I would say you and I, Tom, collectively have been outright angry with Doc Rivers. I think probably the first time.
Yeah.
He says, quote, I think Ben is a facilitator. I think that's just what he does. I thought he did a great job early on, and after that, I thought they all just got tired. As the game went on, less and less driving happened. I think you guys are way, way more concerned about him scoring than I am. Bro, you're enabling. Nobody was scoring, Doc. Sometime when nothing else is working for you, that 6'10", fast as hell facilitator of yours needs to be like, oh, I'm going up against a guy who's 7 inches smaller than me. Oh, let me go for a layup. Let me get some energy into this offense.
I have no comment on this.
It's atrocious that
I have more to comment on the on all the games they've played.
Oh, the tired legs. Yeah,
and that's what I thought this was going to be. Because I said already my comments on all this. It's a joke. Doc Rivers really, it looks like he's tired. I mean, that's the kind of pressure you gave. You look tired because all you're doing is making excuses for your basketball team, and that's fine. You can do that behind closed doors. I don't need to be excuse driven to the media. I mean, it's a flat out fucking joke. The fact that you're going to talk about all the games you played, what? Tired legs? What? You're at home. It's a back-to-back at home. It's not a back-to-back. You're traveling cross country. What are we talking about right now? And then the announcers enabling it too. Zumov and Aller were atrocious last night, okay? Atrocious. All right, and I love Zoom. Zoom's a staple. You understand? But he was atrocious, and he's another enabler last night. Because all he wanted to do was talk about the same shit as they're getting their ass kicked. And I'm fine with losing. But don't give me excuses why I'm losing. Come on. Who's terrible, Jacob? Or Jordan? Thanks, Jordan. You're terrible. Cool. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for chiming in. Thanks for spending your Monday. You got a great life at 6:21. Just chiming in. Chiming in,
Jordan. He's spam commenting now.
Yeah. Thanks, Jordan.
Notice me.
Harry, please. I got it correct. I can't spell terrible right.
Let me try again, guys. Let me try again.
Oh, God. I love guys. Jacob, what's up, my brother? Yeah, he's skating around. Everybody's skating around. Put me as the head coach. I'll tell you. Yo, I've been saying all the shit I said for 25 minutes here about him. I mean, we've been on for an hour, but like 25 minutes of me just yelling about him. Mm-hmm. Okay? I say the same shit. You go back and listen to it. I would tell him that. I would say what I said to Ryan. Okay, being aggressive, that's done for me now. All right, that was like my expectation, right, Ryan? It was ours. That's all we talked about. Nope. Now you better start shooting 15-footers. You better start shooting elbow jumpers because the shit is clogged up for you, honey. The toilet is clogged. All right, everything is clogged, and we got a major emergency. You know the reservoir that's about to explode in Florida? That's what we have right here. It is clogged up, and it's about to burst. All right, unless you decide to stretch your goddamn game a little bit. Stretch it a little bit. Oh, wow. Jesus, yeah. I mean, Eagles.
Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing. Jesus.
Eagles, AK Eagles. Yeah, still at it. Nonstop. I'm really mad more because Pat says, how do you subscribe? Well, on Facebook, you can just go right up to A2D Radio, and it'll give you the option when you go to the page to follow and like it. So you can do that. And then, Pat, you can turn your alerts on, too, over on Facebook, and you'll know every time all our shows go live. And you can do the same thing over on YouTube and obviously Twitter, Twitch. We got A2D Gaming on Twitch as well. So you get a combo of shows and gaming. So go follow us. Exclusive content over on Twitch. All right, give me your other one.
I'm trying to figure out which one is going to irk you more. All right, I'll go to this one. I'll save the big one for last.
I think the big one might irk me more, but go ahead.
Well, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. So the Eagles, this is according to Pro Football Network's Tony, I never can figure out how to pronounce his name. Pauline?
Yeah, whatever.
Tone. Mr. Tone.
Yeah.
The Eagles are now expected to trade Zach Ertz on NFL draft night. And it says, I have a little excerpt here. It says, Howie Roseman wants a third-round pick and nothing less for Zach Ertz. The Los Angeles Chargers were engaged in negotiations to land a weapon that would replace Hunter Henry, but Roseman wouldn't budge off his asking price. According to The Athletic, rival clubs are currently offering a conditional fifth-round pick to Philadelphia, while Ertz could hit certain incentives that would make the pick higher, meaning it would only be a 2022 or 2023 selection in return for Zach Ertz. And that has not been enough for Roseman to pull the trigger. So basically saying the asking price has been way too high, and the most you're going to be able to get is a conditional pick for Zach Ertz that would not be coming into effect until next draft.
Yeah, Howie's right here, though. I keep it real. I keep it 100. He's 100% right. I mean, you don't got to trade him. So, I mean, you hold the asking price. This isn't just some average tight end. I'll stand by this. I bring him back. If I'm not getting a third, I'm bringing him back. And I don't even like getting a third for him, right? But if I can't, I'm bringing him back and giving my quarterback weapons. I mean, why not? Then you don't have to be forced to draft a playmaker at 12 offensively because you have Ertz back. So there's ways you can do it. All right? There's ways you can do it. But this time I agree for the first time this year with Howie Roseman. The first time this year. I've agreed with him in the past. First time this year, I'm fine with it. Either you don't have to deal him. You don't have to. I want it personally. You know this, right? I give him a 3-year extension. Call it a day. All right? Call it a fucking day because the guy's still going to be productive. But I understand the position we're in, too. So, if you don't get a third, then let him hold out.
Tom, this will be the first time I've said this because you and I butted heads on this for like 9 months. If that's the case and you can't get more than a conditional fifth-round pick, make it freaking work. Make it work.
Yeah. Come over. You break some bread. You have a great meal together, right? And then everything's kumbaya again.
Yeah, it's like, honestly, I understand it was really
be the face of your offense. Sorry, he can still be the face of your organization. So selling reasons, I don't know why the Eagles wouldn't. Like, you know what I mean? Like Jason Witten was a seller for the Cowboys till he was 35, 36. You know what I mean? And he was one of their faces of their organization. I'm like, that sells tickets, that sells merchandise. Like, as a business wise, it's not a dumb decision to bring them back. It really.
You're also doing that to help your quarterback too.
Yeah, and I still think he'd be extremely productive. I still believe he can be a top 5 tight end in football. Is that worth the value? Like, yes, that's worth Kittle money. What's George Kittle done? He's had one good year. Everybody's like, George Kittle. Like, one fucking good year. One good year.
I know people will say, oh, well, why would you bring back Zach Ertz? And I've said this. Like, these are my words. That, oh, why would you bring Zach Ertz? Why would you try to if you're not going to compete this year? Forget about competing. You're keeping Zach Ertz just to give Jalen Hurts, apparently there's a lot of questions surrounding him, one more solidified piece and a consistent piece. That way it's like, okay, well, say we have all these moving parts in the wide receiver core. Well, you're going to have one consistent piece that is Zach Ertz. So where if you can't have any chemistry with him, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to give Jalen Hurts as many weapons as possible, not because I think we can win the freaking Super Bowl, but it's okay. The more weapons he has is going to give me more context of what this guy can do with an NFL roster, especially on the offensive side.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if Jalen Hurts struggles with a top 5 offensive line and weapons, then I know, okay, it's Jalen Hurts.
No, you're right, right. And then we really know. And Spidey's right, man. I mean, he probably wants to contend, but, this team could be a contender next year. Not this year coming up, like the following year. They got a ton of money, ton of picks. I mean, they can be right back in the conversation. You know how the NFL is. So, I don't think that he would – there's a lot of guys that he's boys with that are still here on the offensive side of the football. So, I would still believe that he believes in those guys to be able to win football games. But, oh, well, who knows? All right, next one.
So I'll give you one more, and then we'll get into the pick your pill because I know it's going to get messy on that one. So according to The Athletic, this came out over the weekend, the Eagles are in the driver's seat to eventually trade for Russell Wilson in 2022. Quote comes out from The Athletic saying, quote, all they're doing is stockpiling picks for next year so they can either get weapons for Jalen Hurts or acquire one of the top 2 overall picks to draft a quarterback. And I would put Philly.
Can I stop you and you can finish real quick?
Yes,
I can stop you after the first sentence or first little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's almost like at some point. At some point. So when are we going to trade for Russell Wilson? In 3 years from now? We're in the driver's seat to trade for him, what, in 2 years from now? I mean, this is the whole, like, in the driver's seat down the road to trade for him. What the fuck are you talking about?
In the driver's seat for 12 months from now.
Yeah, like, what does that mean? Like, why we're in the driver's seat 12 months from now? Who driver's seat's that? How does that, you know what I mean? Who writes this shit?
It's according to it's according to an anonymous NFL executive, which to me, in my opinion, is that Howie Roseman? Like, is that Roseman being like, I'm in the driver's seat. It's me. It's me. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's the executive?
Going down the road, pointing,
Oh, not paying the toll. I'm in the driver's seat.
God, I can't anymore. In the
So
driver's
it
like,
ends up saying,
seat to trade for him next week, then let's go. You know what I mean? But I'm not in the driver's seat to trade for him next year. I don't even what the hell are we talking about? My goodness, I can't. These guys just run out of shit to write about. And then the April Fool's joke guy the other day, he's a fucking idiot too. Right? The SB Nation, Liberty Ballers, loser. You're gonna write 25 paragraphs as an April Fool's joke? Okay, I'm done with you. But go ahead, finish.
So it says, quote, and again, this could be Howie Roseman talking in third person. It says, I would fully put Philly in the driver's seat for Russell Wilson next year if Seattle moves him. That would have Howie Roseman written all over it. And then I added this thing in here saying,
hey, how much did he pay that for that little snippet?
Who, Howie or the writer?
No, Howie. Like, how much did he pay to the writer? Like, I'll put this in there too. Like, Howie,
trademark Howie Roseman move, hashtag it.
Yeah. A year.
Roseman tapes.
Dude, so hold on, son. See, you're fucking telling me that you're. So Russell Wilson knows he's out of Seattle this year. Going into it, my last year. It's a going away fucking party. The what? Come here? What is going on? What is going on? If that deal's going to happen, it'll be happening right now because this is when the offensive line's good.
Yeah, what is he going to have? Is he going to have a Derek Jeter like retirement tour? Like final season in Seattle?
To come here with an unknown offensive line at that point, at least going into this year, you have an offensive line that you're like, okay, there's 3 Pro Bowlers on there. Can they be healthy? Different conversation. But there's 3 All-Pros there.
To your point, Tom, he hasn't even requested a trade. He still he never requested a trade. B, all that's out there is that he's not thrilled with the organization, which again, like we've talked about before, no kidding, because Pete Carroll is Pete Carroll.
Yeah,
their offensive line has sucked, and their defense is no longer good.
Daddy Adderall ran out.
And 3, we already know his list. Cowboys, Saints, Raiders, Bears. Is any of that Philadelphia?
No, but
but he could add it in the next 13 months. He could add Philly in.
But you know what I've also noticed is like all these first round quarterbacks, right? I mean, over the last while, have none of them really lived up to anything.
Get out of my friggin' head. Did you see the same thing I did?
Yeah, earlier on Twitter I saw it, and I'm like,
the chart?
Wow. Yeah, it's not a lot of good. Oh my goodness gracious! Like Carson might be outside of Mahomes. I'm talking inside the top 10, right? Like Mahomes just doesn't count because he was 12, right? Or no, what was Mahomes? 10?
10,
right? So and then Watson went 12, right? Outside of them 2 guys, and Carson for when he was playing at a high level, right? oh my goodness, I don't ever want to draft a quarterback in the top 5 ever again. Ever again.
Crazy. It's crazy.
I might never draft a quarterback in the top 5 to 10 ever again. I might be out on it. Like, maybe Jalen Hurts is going to be good because, like, nobody else is. I wouldn't do it next year either, right? Even with all the draft capital. I'm just drafting pimps. I'll worry about the quarterback position later. I seriously mean this. The quarterback position in the National Football League has almost felt to me, I can worry about it later. Jimmy Garoppolo went to a fucking Super Bowl. I can worry about the quarterback position later. Go build a football team out. And then you can pull a Niners move and go up to 3 now. Now you go up to 3. You know what I mean, right?
Mm-hmm. What is this?
I haven't heard anything about this one.
No, that wasn't on my news and notes. That wasn't on. No. You guys have to fill us in on that one. You want to get in the pick your pill, Tom?
Yeah, John, I don't know. I thought Jalen Hurts was Russell Wilson to them. I mean, I can't anymore. I can't. Can I just see this kid play? I don't want to hear another fucking quarterback's name forever right now. Like, for a long time. Like I'm not Team Hurts either. But the proof in the pudding is that later round picks usually can pan out better because you can build a roster around them. Unless you're like a Mahomes, right? Like there's guys that are just flat out studs, and then there's the rest. Look at all the rest. Look at all them names. Them names are bad. Blake Bortles, Sam Darnold. Oh my God, Kyler Murray's okay, but he hasn't been great yet.
I found the chart. Want me to read it to you? Okay,
it's bad.
Since 2010, quarterback selected in the top 10. I'm going to go one by one, and we're going to say hit or miss. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to start from the beginning, so we're going to go 2010 to present.
Okay, yep.
Sam Bradford for the Rams.
No, but miss.
Blaine Gabbert for the Jags. Jake Locker for the Titans.
You need to finish it where he went.
Cam Newton, Panthers.
Miss.
Yeah. I would say hit just because they got to a Super Bowl.
Okay.
And he was the MVP.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, he had a stretch where he was really good, but it wasn't hittish as it should have been, okay? That's all my thing is. That's almost in the middle. You can almost say that's in the middle. That's in the middle.
Yeah, it's like, you know what it is? It's like that Seahawks thing. You know, where we talk about that team.
He's like a great artist that comes out with one great song, right? Like one great song. You know what I mean? He had one great song. You know what I mean?
And after that season, after when they went to the Super Bowl, lost, and he was the MVP, that was the last good season for him because then he just got hurt.
Yeah, and then after not diving on the ball, everything went downhill for him.
Yes.
So I'm gonna say it's a one-hit wonder. So it's not a terrible pick.
It's the best one so far.
Yeah, best one. Yeah, it makes it seem better after the names we read for sure.
Ryan Tannehill for the Dolphins. Miss.
Especially there, and it was a miss. Yep.
RG3.
Miss.
Everywhere. RG3. Miss.
You can blame it on whatever you want, but it ended up being a big time miss.
Andrew Luck, Colts.
Hit.
Yeah, I know people will argue miss, but it wasn't his fault.
No.
He was great, and he did so much with so little.
Yeah, Luck's a pimp. A pimp.
So that's the first one where we both say hit. Then you go to Blake Bortles, Jags.
Miss.
Titans, Mariota.
Miss.
Jameis Winston, Bucks. Miss. Carson Wentz, Eagles.
I mean, hit because they won a Super Bowl, but another one hit, almost another one hit.
It's the same as Cam. Because
really,
right after that Super Bowl year, it all went to hell.
He's had good years, but it'd been like, right? Been like,
Yeah.
So, in reality, he's another one hitter.
Jared Goff, Rams. Got to the Super Bowl, didn't win.
Oh, he's been okay.
I wouldn't call that a hit.
I want to call it a hit. I want to call it a miss, but maybe it is a miss because it's the number one pick of the draft.
Yeah.
Same with Carson, and then you deal them. Both have been dealt. So both are almost misses in a way on where they were, but Carson's that one-hit wonder because we did win a Super Bowl over it.
I would say there was more success with Carson and the Eagles than Jared Goff and the Rams.
Yeah, Carson's way more of a hit than Jared Goff.
Would you say Carson's more of a hit than Cam?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I think he's a better quarterback. I think he's just a better quarterback.
Yeah.
And he can do the same thing Cam does.
True.
So
Then we get into some ugly ones here. Trubisky Bears,
thanks.
Rosen Cardinals, non-existent. We didn't even let that go off the ground. Josh Allen Bills.
No, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say stinks real quick again. No, Josh Allen hit.
Yep, hit. Sam Darnold Jets. Well, we saw about an hour ago. Miss.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield Browns.
Hit. People might disagree with that, but that's a hit.
Yeah, and we that's still moving, but right now it looks like more like a hit than a miss.
Absolutely.
First playoff appearance and win in how many years? You know what I'm saying?
Got better every year. They got better every year.
Mm-hmm. Daniel Jones Giants miss. Murray Cardinals.
To be determined. I like Kyler Murray a lot.
This year will determine it with all those weapons and their defense is better.
Yeah. I mean, you better win that division.
You got to make the playoffs. That's when you talk about house money, like there's no, house money anymore with them. They need to make the playoffs. And Kyler's got to stay healthy because he's been banged up 2 years in a row.
Well, we gave Cam it like a one-hit wonder, right? But I think Cam's an overall better quarterback than Carson's overall better quarterback than Cam. So he's more hittish than Cam, but neither are like, okay, that ball's out of here, no doubters, right? Nobody is. Nobody really is. I mean, Josh Allen, yes. Baker, yes, right now. All yeses right now on them guys, but listen, I'm not drafting quarterbacks that high anymore. I'm done with it.
And then you've got
for a couple years. I'm away from it. I'm going to build a roster out first, and then if I don't have my quarterback, it hurts. I'll go fucking get one.
And you've got 3 more, and again, this is just in this season. But Justin Herbert Chargers, that looks good.
Looks like a hit, but we'll see.
Tua Dolphins looks like a mistake right now. You could have had Herbert.
Yes, right now it does. Looks like a big swing and a miss. Yep.
And Joe Burrow Bengals, it looks good, but they got to keep him healthy. What we saw of him was really good.
Everything looks good until you get a knee injury, supposedly, when you're a quarterback that moves around. So we will find out. We shall find out on him as well, right?
But to your point, that's a lot of names we just mentioned, and there's a lot of either or just bad. That's an 11 years. That's an 11-year sample size. Well, technically 10.
The best quarterback of all time is a late round pick. Now, I don't think you're getting quarterbacks like that in the 6th round constantly, right? But this is what makes it hard, right? You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna keep taking my chance on building that roster out and trying to hit quarterbacks in the 2nd and 3rd round where I don't have to nearly pay him as much. But that becomes how good are you at what you do. And that's what we're going to find out with Howie Roseman. Like, were you the smartest guy in the room with this? This year's going to tell. Because imagine if Jalen Hurts outperforms Carson Wentz this year. He's going to look like a genius. And then we're going to clip this video right here. You understand? Like, we all talk about him thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. Right? We didn't understand the pick at the time. Rightfully so. Nobody did. So now we think we understand it. Because they were in love with Jalen Hurts.
Oh, Howie Roseman has a path here to get not only back in his winning ways, but get back on the good side of the fan base. He has a path. And it all bases off of, can he do something he hasn't been able to do? If he can do what he needs to do and do his job correctly in this draft, you're looking really good going into next year based off all the capital you have.
Imagine having 3 first-rounders and you don't have to take a quarterback, and you can just continue to load up this roster.
And your quarterback's on a rookie contract coming out of the 2nd round.
Yeah, or you could be a guy that thinks Daniel Jones isn't a miss right now. You could also be that kind of person, Joe. I love you, Joe, but like, wow. All right. Now we're making excuses. Like, dude, no. Like, he hasn't shown even a little bit of a glimpse of being a hit. Not even a half a minute. Come on, Joey.
I won't even have that conversation. Daniel Jones stinks. Still plenty of time for him to be good, But given what they could have done at 6 when they took him, and you compare him to all of the other quarterbacks in the league,
Yep.
Daniel Jones, that's right, playoff Rondo, stinks.
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 Oh, what the hell is this going to say? Oh, everybody on YouTube, 82 people watching, 57 likes. Come on, get us up over 100. Pound that like. And if you haven't subscribed over on YouTube, you got to. We got 2 other shows coming up tonight. Come on, shows every goddamn day here. Turn your damn alerts on. Subscribe to A2D Radio. We've been here forever. So this ain't, ain't our first time. Ain't our first timers here. Hit that like button. Get us up over 100. Come on. I don't want to keep telling y'all. I don't want to keep saying it.
So this I know is going to be a lot of fun. So, fam, you guys, I'm sure, see this on Twitter all the time.
You have this in the back end?
Yes, I do.
All right.
As
soon as you say it, I'll bring it up for us. Oh,
okay.
I'll bring it up now, and then we can talk over it.
Okay. So, hold on, I'll get Mr. Rondo. I got to get you out of here 1 second. Where's your comment?
Sorry, playoff Rondo.
Oh, sorry, hit subscribe. There you go. And then I got sorry, bottom ticker.
Yes,
sorry, guys. So we always see this on Twitter, like, oh, you can only choose 2 scenarios. So about 3:00 in the morning last night, I made our own, and I'm going to put this on all of our A2D socials. So I want you guys to vote on this on the show, but when we post it right after the show gets done, I want you guys to, obviously answer it on all of our socials as well. But here you go. Here's all the scenarios. You can only pick 2 of these, and I'll just go right in order. Number 1, Ben Simmons immediately starts to shoot the basketball consistently. Number 2, Jalen Hurts turns into a top 10 NFL quarterback. Number 3, Bryce Harper plays like an MVP in 2021. Number 4, the Eagles fire Howie Roseman this season. Number 5, Joel Embiid is injury-free for 3 years. So you get an injury-free ticket for 3 years. He's in bubble wrap for 3 years. Number 6, 5 different Philadelphia Phillies make the 2021 All-Star game. Number 7, the Eagles trade for Russell Wilson in 2022. Number 8, the Sixers reach the NBA Finals this season, so you're guaranteed a NBA Finals appearance. And number 9, just because I wanted to see how petty our viewers are, the Cowboys don't win a playoff game for another 15 years.
That'd be classic. I think I got mine real quick. It's number 2 to me because number 2 changes our franchise and changes our football team, right? To me, that automatically changes it, okay? And I'm not petty enough to be like, oh, I need Howie fired. No, it's okay. Like, let Jalen Hurts turn into a top 10 QB. I'll take pill number 2. And I will also take pill number 5 because I think pill number 5 puts us to pill 8.
It's so funny. That's how I kind of did it, to where some people could take the guarantees like, oh, well, I'm just going to take the NBA Finals and book it. But you could also be like, okay, we're going to go to the finals where we're going to get swept. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't want that. I'll take this.
Number 5 should be on it. Like, I'm not going to tell people what to choose, but number 5 should be like a shoo-in.
I think number 2, if you're an Eagles fan, should be a shoo-in. If you're an Eagles fan, 2's got to be a shoo-in. But then, listen, Jason Charles says 2 and 4. Well, 2 and 4 is not going to happen. Like, if 2 happens, 4 is definitely not happening. And when I talked to Rob Motti the other day, like, that's not happening. So the firing Howie Roseman, that pill shouldn't even be allowed because it's not going to happen. It's just not. It's just not. I mean, this is all for fun and games because if you really want it, you really want it. But, like, I'd rather him not get fired because that means hopefully we're winning.
I'll be honest with you, Tom. I'm shocked you didn't go number 1. I thought you were going to go 1-5.
No, because I'm not going to go all Sixers. So, I'm a diehard Eagles fan here too, so it's hard. Number 6 does nothing for me. It just tells me I got a really good baseball team. Number 3 is great because I need him to. The great thing is we're 3-0 and he hasn't been hot yet, so that's a great thing. But number 5 is so important to me to go to where I want to go every year, and number 2 is important to me to where I want to go every year. They're just so important to me. I don't know. Like, fuck one. Fuck him. Seriously, fuck him. I'm not doing any pill for him. He needs to take his own goddamn medicine.
Well, you know what's funny too? I added the little wrinkle in there. Like my argument, like I was convinced you were going to go 1-5 because my argument was going to be, okay, Tom, like he's going to shoot it, but just because he's shooting it doesn't mean he's making it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it said Ben Simmons immediately starts to make 12-foot jumpers and 3-pointers, then yeah, then that's obvious. But he could shoot them all. He could shoot layups. Doesn't mean he's making them.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, Ryan can apologize for no flyers, but I mean, what's there to put on? Right?
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I knew there were going to be people upset, but fam, the Flyers suck right now. Like they don't even just they don't deserve.
Bill 10. Carter Hart is as good of a goalie as Patrick Waugh. I mean, that's 10. So for the Flyers fans, go ahead, take that pill. Take it quick. I'm a Flyers fan, but I'm not even touching the pill. Fuck the Flyers.
Nope.
Right now.
It's so tough, Tom. I want to go a different route because I also had 2 and 5. So, for the object of being different, I will go 5 because I just think that's so important, and that leads to other things.
Go 3 too. Go 3 and 5.
I almost want to go 5-6, Tom. To be honest.
Oh, because you would think that 5. Hey, you would think that 5 would. I'm sorry. You would think 5, not 5 pill, but the 5 Phillies making the All-Star game this year would dictate us being damn good, and I agree with that. Yes. But I think also 3 does that too.
Yes, but then my worry is that okay, Bryce Harper's going to be an MVP, but our pitching's going to suck.
Okay.
Like if you have 5 All-Stars, I'm thinking Wheeler, Nola, and 3 position players.
All right. I mean, I'm going 5 and 6 too.
Yeah, I'm going 5-6. Screw it. I'll go 5-6.
That's what you had 2 as well. Yeah, 2's so easy to me, but everybody's saying 2 and 4. You guys are wrong because if 2 happens, 4 ain't happening. So okay, you would just that's fine. You're taking 2 pills that don't make sense. So take another pill.
Yeah, and also like I don't want the Eagles to be bad. Like if I wanted 4, I'm actively rooting for the Eagles to be like a train wreck, and I'm also rooting for them to miss in this year's draft. Like I think people need to understand that. Like
that's why
if he's fired next year, that means all the picks he made suck. Jalen Hurts sucks. Like the coach sucks. Like everything's bad. Like I understand we want Howie out of here because we're upset and he's like the poster boy, but we have to remember the owner's still in the building. Like I know, hey, if Howie does his job correctly, I know that he has capabilities of giving us a winning culture because we did it in 17. Now, whether he meant to do that or he just got lucky, whatever, but he did it.
Well, so Marty said that they might be the closest relationship owner to GM in sports. So you take that for what it is. But yeah, 2 solidifies me being a damn good football team.
Yeah, and if Jalen Hurts is a top 10 quarterback for the next 5, 6, 7, 10 years, and we have a really good defense and skill positions, we can win. We can win for a long time.
Yeah, I'm taking that pill all day. And 5, I think somebody said it. Somebody said about 5. Remember, we're taking these pills that make it happen.
5 because Joel is a beast when he's healthy.
Yeah, Jason Charles said that. Yep. Yeah, Jason's right. That's why I take 5 because 5 gets me there. 2 and 5. Red Sand's right. 2 and 5 help us out for multiple years. I mean, it stamps us for a while. Like we're just like, okay, we got a damn good football team then, and we got the best player in the game over the next 3 years, and that usually dictates you going to where you want to go.
Now
9. There we go. 9 means we good as well. Philly Bull. No.
Well, see, that's why I added that in there because it's like, oh well, that means we only have to worry about 3 teams.
Oh well. I mean,
2 teams. We only have to worry about 2 teams.
Well, we're going to come in 3rd place the next 3 years. I mean, the next 15. That doesn't seal me.
That might be good enough for some people to look at the Cowboys under us, though. I know how some people we know how petty they are.
Yeah.
But what would you, other than that? Because I know we don't really care about that one. Which one would you rank last, Tom? As far as importance, other than 9.
Other than 9, 7.
I like it.
I just think 7 doesn't do anything for me,
And also, we're taking something that wouldn't kick into effect for another 10, 11 months.
Yeah, so I'm just watching football. Just to know
like
those kicking in.
Countdown to Russell Wilson. Like, I feel like it's like winless for Wiggins. Winless for Wilson. That's what we'd be doing. Oh.
Yeah, no thanks on that.
No, I'm good.
Even though people would deal them.
Oh, absolutely.
People would absolutely deal for him. That's been talked about, which is comical.
So, do you think we kind of? I mean, I think I know what you're going to say regarding this Phillies-Mets game. Are you worried at all that we kind of got a little screwed with the Mets obviously starting their season tonight? That way we get the front load of their pitching rotation.
No, bring it on. I mean, listen, we got the front load of the Braves too. We're going to find out now. Like we weren't hot with the bats yet. So do we have a big series? Can we get to DeGrom early tonight? That's the difference maker tonight. Can we get the Jacob DeGrom early and often? Because if we don't get to him in the first or second inning, he's going to get into cruise control and it's going to be a long night, right? Mm-hmm. The only advantage that we get sort of is that we've seen a full series of live pitching, which I think matters. So maybe our bats can get going, but it does suck a little bit, sure. But if we want to be the beast in the East and we want to get to where we want to get to, then we're going to have to deal with some of these issues and some of these things.
Who are you most, and granted, it's only a 3-game sample size, but who are you most impressed by from the Phils so far? Or what aspect of well, I don't want to say what aspect because that's obviously pitching. So which player are you most impressed by?
I can like twofold. I really like, Alvarado and Harris right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Hector coming in and getting outs.
Yeah, he struggled a little bit yesterday, but that's going to happen. But he got out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I want to see, right? I mean, I want to see him get out of it. Like Pat, like with Wheeler, I expect Wheeler and Nola to deal. So, you can say Eflin. Eflin's outing was great, obviously, but
it's a great sign.
Right now, we're all looking at this bullpen until it's out of our head, right? So right now, that's important. Like Hector didn't have his best stuff, but got out of it yesterday and had to go. Like, come on, we were up 1, and he has to go. Right, we were up. Wait, what were we up yesterday? Were we up
2-1? Yeah, it was 2-1.
Yesterday was 2-1. Yeah, he's got to face Acuna. He's got to face top of their lineup. Acuna.
Yep.
He's got to go through the heart of it. So that matters to me.
And I forget. It might have been Kruk. By the way, Kruk is. I think you like Kruk, right, on the broadcast. I think he's phenomenal.
I do love Kruk. And we have Lenny Dykstra coming on HUD Wednesday night. I'm sorry, HUD After Dark on Wednesday night. We'll have nails on, so that'll be fun.
That'll be awesome.
I cannot wait for him.
That's like full circle because you've been talking about that for a while, Tom. Like trying to get him on, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, Nails is one of my 93 guys, and he's a train wreck, but I love train wreck, so let's do it.
Great for ratings.
Oh, yeah, I got a lot of train wreck questions for him. I know the family does. So it's the interview. You can say whatever the fuck you want. You know what I mean? Like, that's the interview. You can curse. You can say whatever you want.
Look at Mike Parker. Wait, what? What?
That's what Tori said, Spidey. She said he's coming on, so I'm taking Tori's word, Jerry. Look at you, baby. I appreciate you. You and Donovan helping us out in the super chats. All that helps, right? If you got it, the super chat is do it. If you don't have it, hit that like on every video. Hit that subscribe. Let's go. Yeah, Lenny Dykstra, Spidey.
Yes, sir. But Kruk said something, I believe it was in the second game, and it was when Alvarado was in the game. It's just so refreshing having guys in the pen that just throw hard. You know what I'm saying? Like none of this off-speed stuff, none of these sidearm. Well, who's the kid? Who was the guy that we hated? He was here for a couple years, but he never pitched. Not Tommy Hunter, the other guy who pitched weird.
Oh, Nishak.
Like none of the Pat Nishak type guys.
I don't have all speed shit. That's not my problem. But when you gas it up, can you throw 98 plus like the rest of the goddamn league? Can you have movement on your all speed pitches? Right, and that's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing, right? Which is great. Alvarado comes in, his shit moves fastball, whatever, that fucking slider. Everything he throws got a lot of movement on it, right? That's what you need. That's what you need. We've got too many guys that just love the middle of the zone.
Yep, Chris. Wednesday night. He'll be here. Jerry says, "What's up, guys? I have a bad feeling the Eagles will trade out of 12. Thoughts?"
I don't care if they trade out as long as they get a stud. I mean, but I don't want them to. Now I'm hearing people say they won't take Devontae Smith or Michael Parsons if they're on the board. What the fuck? Who leaked that out? Who says that?
I'm telling you, they're going to take J.C. Horn. Like I'm so convinced by this. And granted, we're like 24, 23 days out from the draft. What was that, Tom?
I'll be mad about that.
J.C. Horn?
No, at that spot, I'll be mad.
Oh, I won't be thrilled by it because I could. If Patrick Surtain is there, I think they're going to take J.C. Horn. I'm convinced that what they're trying to do is they're going to go corner and then they're going to go like wide receiver. So like Terrace, Terrace, I forget his last name, from LSU. I could see them going J.C. Horn, then the kid from LSU in the second. And I'm not okay with that. I'm not saying they're both not good players, but when you have Patrick Surtain or Devontae Smith at your disposal,
I like J.C. Horn, but not at 12. I'm sorry,
Yep.
Not at 12. I think they're being the smartest guys in the room again. They can't miss. Terrence Marshall, I know he's like up draft boards. Like I think everybody needs to calm down.
Yep.
No,
and I get it. He's like a bigger receiver. I get it, but like, come on.
I'm not drafting
receiver game in the second round.
Nope.
Okay.
I have way too many holes to fill. If I'm going wide receiver, it's Devontae Smith or Jamar Chase, right? It ain't nobody else. So
if you're trying to address wide receiver, you should have stayed at 6 to get the guy. You know what I mean? Like it's so typical of Howie too. Like, oh, you have the chance to get a lock of a transcendent talent in either Chase or Smith or Pitts or whatever, and then you trade back. But then you take Terrace Marshall.
Yeah, I mean, J.C. Horn and Terrence Marshall don't like extremely move the needle for me.
Mm-mm.
Give me Pat Surtain, give me Devontae Smith, or give me Michael Parsons. Like, give me a guy that can be a staple here for the next 8 years, 10 years. Like, I'm so sick of J.C. Horn is a project to me still. Like, I'm not saying J.C. Horn can't be great, but like he's a project right now. I don't think he's fully polished. He's nowhere even on the level of Surtain right this second. And I think people that watch too much tape will tell you he is.
No, I get it, Creep Johnson. This draft could be loaded with wide receiver, but it was loaded last year, and what we do with it? You know what I mean? It could be as loaded as it needs to be, but unless you're hitting on the right guys, it doesn't mean anything for me.
I wouldn't even go the wide receiver, though, in the second round. Like, even if I went defense, I might go back to defense again. I might go, I might go to the offensive line. I might go to the defensive line in the second round. You know what I mean?
Yeah, go linebacker, defensive end. There's a million different safety, whatever. There's a million places. But no, my fear right now is that they're either going to go cornerback, wide receiver, or Kwity Paye, then corner in the second round. And I like Kwity Paye, but not at 12. Like Kwity Paye is something like, okay, you trade back to 15 or something. Then you take Kwity Paye or J.C. Horn. Not at 12. Not at 12. Not when guys like Surtain or Smith could be there. And somebody made a good point, and I wanted to ask you on this, Tom. So like the Darnold move.
Yeah.
So that kind of hurts the Eagles a little bit because that's one extra team that's not taking a quarterback.
Yeah, but again, has holes too.
Yeah.
So you don't know which way they're going to go. Could they go offensive line? Could they go defensive line? We don't know. You don't know. So you don't know what's going to be there, but you know enough's going to be there. So when that enough's there, 2, 3 names, whatever it is, if you don't take one of those 2 or 3 names, now you're reaching again. And that's what that would mean. Like if Surtain and Smith are on the board, but you take Horn, like, all right. Like, all right. Then
It's
I got questions.
such like a whatever type move.
I agree, Casey. Draft SEC guys. Just 1 year. Go to work on it. Next 2 years. And I'm not saying all SEC guys, but go draft the best guys from the SEC early and often. And then go to the smaller schools later in rounds. That's when you go to the small schools, the not Power 5 schools.
King Bub says, might sound weird, but I want to see Hurts have success coming from a Dallas fan. I appreciate that, King. I do.
Were you an Oklahoma fan, brother? King? I'm just curious. They might be because a lot of people down in Dallas, Texas area, there is a lot of Oklahoma fans down there.
By the way, Tom, did you see what happened or hear what happened with the Vikings cornerback, Gladney?
No.
Came out 45 minutes ago. Vikings cornerback Jeff Gladney has turned himself into authorities on a felony family violence assault charge in Dallas. Gladney's girlfriend alleges the 24-year-old corner struck her with a closed fist during an argument. So all of our Vikings fans, there you go.
Oh, yeah, okay, Bama fan, that makes sense too.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Jalen. He's a good kid, so hoping he's the guy.
Bobby Stevens. Panthers trade for Sam. They will go wide receiver or cornerback now. I gotta look at their depth chart. I know they have Robbie. For Mr. Robbie Anderson now. Let me see. Panthers.
That's how I am, Mads. No, sorry, King. That's how I am. Not my grandma, but I got family are Cowboys fans, so I hate him and don't hate him at the same time, but I hate the Giants more. Always hate the Giants more.
Not Mads' comment? Not his?
Mads, so yeah.
Not his?
No, we don't. Yeah. That's. I'll go with my own board.
So their quarterbacks right now, Panthers, they've got Troy Pride, Dante Jackson. Yeah, they don't have any world beaters there. I mean, Dante Jackson was a second rounder, but they don't have any star players unless I'm missing on anybody. So they can go corner here. And then receiver, they've got DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, David Moore. So they could go wide receiver, but they'll probably go back to defense, in my opinion. Because I think their O-line is pretty good from my understanding.
Yeah. So what are the Phillies doing this series? Can they take 2 or 3?
So what's the pitching matchup tonight? You've got
Moore, DeGrom.
And then the next they play is Wednesday?
When are they off tomorrow?
I thought they were. I could be dead wrong. Let me see.
Yeah, they are. No, they aren't.
They play tomorrow? Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you the pitching matchup. Stroman, Anderson.
I'll say we take 2 or 3. I'll say we lose tonight and we take the next 2.
If we win tonight, that'd be great.
Oh. Go up against freaking DeGrom and shell him?
Hit him early. Get him early. Got to get him early. All right, fam. Fun show. Molly Mall, appreciate it. Yeah, I would if the right guy's there.
Over wide receiver, I would.
Yeah, if Najee falls or another guy I really like there, I absolutely would.
Javonte Williams.
So stay tuned. You got the Sports Sounds at 7:15. Talking all things March Madness, National Championship game. And then Flight Zone tonight. There'll be more roasting of Ben Simmons. We'll have Run It Back Philly on. DJ's going to be on with us. So another double dip show for Tom here. I haven't given my mouth a chance to fucking breathe after the tooth pull. So, of course, that's not going to be 100% yet.
What's your prediction for the game tonight, Tom?
Phillies?
Well, that and the national title.
I'm betting Baylor. I think Baylor wins.
Okay.
And Phillies, I'm gonna say Phillies win 5-3. Let's go. 5-3. Get on them early. Get on them early, baby.
I'll say Gonzaga wins by 6, and I'll go Phillies lose 3-1.
Look at us, other end of the spectrum.
Great Discreet Radio.
House Money Talk. Yep. End of the day. You know it, Cromer. I love you guys all out there that chimed in, all you guys. Justin, go back and listen to the first 20 minutes of the show, and you'll get both our reactions on how underwhelming Ben Simmons is. And
that answer is crystal clear.
Yep. You can get all that on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, wherever you watch us live at. We're up there right after the show as well, and everywhere you get your podcasts as well. So make sure you're liking, make sure you're subscribing. Tune into the Sports Hounds tonight. All right, live at 7:15, and then Fire by Flight Zone tonight, 9:30. We'd like to thank Sunrise Detox and the Counseling Center for sponsoring this show. And we know many of us and our families deal with mental health and addiction issues. We're happy to support the Counseling Center and Sunrise Detox. If you need help, please call 856-651-8117. For Tom Arnott, Ryan Brodo, all our family out there, we love every one of you guys and gals that tuned in tonight. So keep it right here for all your sports fucking talk, family. Bail her outright tonight. Let's go. We out.